Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. My name is Julia. Today, we have a very exciting topic. We will talk about first dates. Yes, first dates. Many people feel nervous before a first date. It is very normal. Today, my friend John is here with me. We will share some easy tips. These tips can help you make a great first impression. If you are single, or if you want to learn English about dating, this podcast is for you. We will use simple words today, so don't worry if your English is not perfect. Let's start. John, are you ready to talk about first dates?
Hi, everyone. I'm John. Yes, Julia, I am ready. This is a great topic. A first date can be scary for many people. Your heart beats fast, your hands feel sweaty. You think, what should I say? But don't worry. Today, we will give you simple and useful tips. These tips are easy to remember. You can use them on your next date. We will talk about clothes, conversation, body language, and more. We want this podcast to be fun and helpful. If you are a beginner in English, you can still understand everything. We use short sentences and easy words. Let's begin with the first tip, Julia. What do you think is the most important thing?
That's a great question, John. I think the most important thing is being on time. When you are late, the other person can feel bad. They might think, this person doesn't care about me. So my first tip is, don't be late. Try to arrive 5 or 10 minutes early. This shows you are polite and responsible. Also, being early gives you time to relax. You can sit down, drink some water, and calm your mind. If you are always late, please try to change this habit before a first date. It can really hurt the first impression. Time is important in every culture, but especially on a first date. What do you think, John?
I totally agree, Julia. Being on time is very important. But sometimes things happen. The bus is late or there is traffic. In this case, you should send a message. Say, I'm sorry, I will be 5 minutes late. This shows respect. It is much better than saying nothing. The other person will understand. Communication is very important even before you meet. Also, I want to add something. If you arrive very early, like 30 minutes early, don't go inside right away. It can feel strange for the other person. Just wait outside or walk around a little. Then go in at the right time. Small things like this really matter.
Good point, John. Now let's talk about clothes. What should we wear on a first date? I think you don't need expensive clothes. You just need clean and comfortable clothes. Choose something that makes you feel confident. If you feel good in your clothes, you will act more relaxed. Also, think about the place. If you go to a nice restaurant, wear something a little formal. If you go for a walk in the park, wear something casual. It's also good to be clean and neat. Simple things like clean shoes and nice hair make a big difference. What is your opinion about clothes, John?
I agree with you, Julia. Clothes are important, but they don't need to be fancy. I always say, dress a little better than usual, but still be yourself. Don't wear something completely new and strange. If you feel uncomfortable, it will show on your face. Choose clothes you have worn before so you know they look good on you. Also, personal hygiene is very important. Take a shower, brush your teeth, and use some nice perfume or cologne. Small details make a big difference on a first date. People notice these small things even if they don't say anything. First impressions happen very fast, in just a few seconds.
That's so true, John. First impressions happen fast. In just a few seconds, people form an opinion. This is why body language is so important. Let's talk about that now. What is good body language on a first date? I think smiling is number one. A warm smile makes people feel comfortable. It shows you are happy to be there. Also, try to make eye contact. This shows confidence and interest. But don't stare too much, because that can feel strange. Just look at the person naturally while talking. Sit up straight, don't cross your arms, and try to relax your shoulders. These small actions send a friendly message.
Yes, body language says a lot, even without words. I think a good handshake or a friendly hello is also important at the start.
If you don't know the culture's culture, a simple smile and hello is always safe. During the date, try not to check your phone too much. This can make the other person feel unimportant. Put your phone away or on silent mode. Give your full attention to the conversation. Also, nodding your head shows you are listening. Small actions like this make the other person feel valued. Body language can say more than words, so we must be careful and thoughtful about it.
Great tips, John. Now let's talk about conversation topics. What should we talk about on a first date? I think safe topics are best at the beginning. You can ask about hobbies, favorite movies, travel, or food. These topics are light and easy to talk about. Try to ask open questions, not just yes or no questions. For example, ask, "What do you like to do on weekends?" instead of, "Do you like weekends?" Open questions help the conversation continue naturally. Also, share a little about yourself, too. A conversation should not feel like an interview. Both people should talk and listen equally.
That's right, Julia. Balance is very important in conversation. Don't talk only about yourself, and don't stay too quiet either. I also think we should avoid some topics on a first date. For example, don't talk about money, past relationships, or negative things. These topics can make the mood heavy. Instead, keep the conversation light and positive. You can also use humor, but be careful with jokes. Some jokes might not make sense to the other person, especially if English is not their first language. Simple, friendly humor works best. A little laughter can make both people feel more relaxed and happy together.
I love that point about humor, John. Laughing together really helps people connect. Now let's talk about listening. Many people focus on what to say, but listening is just as important. When the other person is talking, give them your full attention. Don't think about your next sentence while they are speaking. Instead, really listen to their words. You can respond with small words like "really" or "that's interesting." This shows you are engaged. Also, try to ask follow-up questions. For example, if they mention travel, ask, "Where did you go? Did you enjoy it?" Good listening makes people feel respected and important.
Absolutely, Julia. Listening well is a skill, and it takes practice. I think many people forget this on a first date because they feel nervous. When we are nervous, we often talk too much. Try to take a breath and slow down. Ask a question, then really listen to the answer. Also, remember small details the person shares. If they mention their dog's name, you can ask about it later in the conversation. This shows you were truly paying attention. People feel special when someone remembers small details about them. It builds trust and connection quickly, even in a short conversation.
That's a wonderful tip, John. Remembering small details really shows you care. Now, let's talk about confidence. Many people feel nervous before a first date, and that is completely normal. But how can we look and feel more confident? I think preparation helps a lot. Think of a few topics to talk about before the date. This can reduce your nervousness. Also, remind yourself that the other person is nervous too. You are not alone in this feeling. Take a few deep breaths before you meet, stand up straight, smile, and speak clearly. Confidence doesn't mean being perfect. It means being comfortable with yourself.
Very true, Julia. Confidence comes from accepting yourself. I always tell my friends, just be yourself. Don't try to be someone different to impress the other person. If you pretend to be someone else, it is hard to keep that up. Also, it's not honest. Real connection happens when two people show their true personality. Of course, be polite and kind, but don't hide who you really are. If the date doesn't go well, that's okay too. Not every date leads to a relationship, and that is completely normal. Every date is also a chance to learn something new.
That's a very healthy way to think about it, John. Not every date needs to be perfect. Now, let's talk about the place for a first date. Where should people go? I think a relaxed place is best, like a coffee shop or a casual restaurant. These places are not too expensive and not too formal. A quiet place is also good because you can hear each other talk. Loud places, like busy clubs, can make conversation difficult. Some people also enjoy a walk in the park for a first date. It's relaxed, and walking together can reduce nervousness. What do you think is a good first date location, John?
I agree with coffee shops and parks, Julia. They are simple, relaxed, and not too expensive. I also think it's good to choose a place both people know or can easily find. This reduces confusion and stress before the date. Avoid very expensive restaurants for a first date. It can create pressure, especially about who pays the bill. Speaking of the bill, let's talk about that too. In many cultures, it's polite to offer to pay or to split the bill. There is no single correct rule, but showing kindness and fairness is always a good idea. Communication about this can also feel modern and respectful.
That's a good point about the bill, John. It really depends on the culture and the people. The most important thing is being polite and not making it awkward. Now, let's talk about ending the date. How should a first date end? I think it's important to say a genuine thank you. You can say, "I really enjoyed talking with you today." This is honest and kind, even if you don't want a second date. If you liked the person, you can say you'd like to meet again. If you're not sure, you can say, "Let's stay in touch." Being honest and respectful at the end leaves a good final impression.
I completely agree, Julia. The ending of the date is just as important as the beginning. Don't make promises you don't plan to keep. For example, don't say, "I'll call you tomorrow," if you don't plan to. This can hurt the other person's feelings later. Honesty is always the best choice, even when it feels a little uncomfortable. Also, a simple hug, handshake, or wave can be a nice way to say goodbye, depending on your culture and comfort level. Remember, first dates are also about learning. Even if it doesn't work out, you can learn something new about yourself and about dating.
Well said, John. Learning from every experience is so important. Let's also talk about nervous habits. Many people bite their nails, shake their legs, or play with their phone when they are nervous. These habits can be distracting for the other person. Try to notice your own habits and control them a little. Instead, keep your hands relaxed on the table and focus on breathing slowly. If you feel very nervous, you can even say it. You can say, "I'm a little nervous, but excited to be here." Honesty about your feelings can actually make the other person feel more comfortable too.
That's a great tip, Julia. Being honest about nervousness can actually break the ice. I also want to mention compliments. Giving a genuine compliment is a nice way to show interest. For example, you can say, "I like your smile," or "You have great taste in music." But remember, the compliment should be honest and not too much. Too many compliments at once can feel strange or even a little fake. One or two thoughtful compliments during the date are perfect. Also, remember to smile when you say them. A compliment with a warm smile feels much more sincere and natural to the other person.
I love that advice, Joan. Genuine compliments really do make people feel special. Now, let's talk about something important: respecting boundaries. On a first date, it's important to respect the other person's comfort level. Don't ask very personal questions too early, like questions about family problems or past relationships. Give the conversation time to grow naturally. Also, respect physical space. Not everyone wants a hug or a kiss on the first date, and that is completely okay. Always ask before doing something like that, or simply wait for a clear sign. Respect builds trust, and trust is the foundation of any good relationship.
Very important point, Julia. Respect really is the foundation of everything. I also think it's good to avoid talking too much about your ex-partner. This can make the date feel uncomfortable, and it might seem like you're not ready to move on. Keep the focus on getting to know the new person in front of you. If they ask, you can answer briefly and then change the topic. Also, avoid complaining too much about your job, your family, or your life in general. Positive energy is much more attractive than constant complaints. Try to focus on fun and interesting topics instead.
That's excellent advice, John. Positive energy really does make a big difference. Let's talk about small talk, too. Sometimes people don't know how to start a conversation. A simple way is to talk about your surroundings. For example, you can say, "This coffee shop has a nice atmosphere," or "I love the music playing here." These small comments can start a natural conversation. You can also ask simple questions like, "How was your day?" or "Did you find this place easily?" Small talk helps break the initial silence and makes both people feel more relaxed before moving into deeper topics.
Yes, small talk is like a warm-up before the real conversation begins, Julia. I also think humor can help here. A light joke about being nervous or about finding the place can make both people laugh and relax. But remember, don't force the humor. If it doesn't come naturally, that's okay too. Not everyone needs to be funny. Being kind, genuine, and a good listener is much more important than being funny. Some of the best first dates are simple and calm without too many jokes. Just enjoy the moment and let the conversation flow naturally between both people.
That's a great reminder, John. We don't need to try too hard. Let's talk about texting before the date, too. If you're meeting someone from a dating app, a little conversation before the date can help, but don't text too much before meeting. Save some topics for the actual date. If you already know everything about each other through text, the date can feel less exciting. A little mystery is good. Also, confirm the date and time a day before, just to be sure. This shows responsibility and good communication, and it avoids any confusion about the plan on the actual day.
Good advice, Julia. I also think it's smart to plan a date with a clear structure, but stay flexible. For example, plan a coffee first, and if it goes well, maybe take a walk after. But don't plan too many activities. If the conversation isn't going well, a long date can feel uncomfortable for both people. A shorter first date is often better. You can always plan a second date if things go well. This also takes pressure off both people. There's no need to spend the entire day together on the first meeting. Quality time matters more than quantity of time.
That's very true, John. Quality really is more important than quantity. Now let's talk about after the date. What should we do after a first date? I think it's polite to send a short message. You can say, "Thank you for today. I had a great time." This is kind, even if you're not sure about a second date. If you want to see them again, you can say so directly. Clear communication saves time and avoids confusion for both people. If you're not interested, it's still kind to send a polite message instead of just disappearing. This is called ghosting, and it can hurt people's feelings.
Yes, ghosting is not a kind way to end things, Julia. It's much better to be honest, even if it feels a little uncomfortable at first. You can say something simple like, "I enjoyed meeting you, but I don't think we're a match." This is respectful and mature. Most people appreciate honesty, even when the answer is not what they hoped for. It helps both people move forward. Also, remember that rejection is a normal part of dating. Not every date leads to a second date, and that's perfectly okay. Everyone experiences this, so don't be too hard on yourself.
That's such an important reminder, John. Rejection is normal, and it doesn't mean something is wrong with you. Let's summarize some key tips so far. Be on time, dress comfortably and neatly, smile, make eye contact, and listen carefully. Choose safe and positive conversation topics, and avoid your phone during the date. Be honest about your feelings, respect boundaries, and end the date with kindness, whether you want to meet up again or not. These simple tips can really help you make a great first impression. Of course, every date is different, but these basic ideas apply almost everywhere, in almost every culture.
Great summary, Julia. I want to add one more thing. Relax and have fun. Sometimes people focus so much on doing everything right that they forget to enjoy the moment. A first date should be enjoyable, not stressful. Remember, the other person wants to have a good time too, just like you. If you both relax and be genuine, the date will naturally go better. Also, remember that you are not just being judged. You are also deciding if you like the other person. Dating is a two-way process. Keep this in mind, and it can really reduce your nervousness before a date.
That's such a helpful perspective, John. Dating really is a two-way process. I also want to mention cultural differences. If you're dating someone from a different culture, be curious and respectful. Ask polite questions if you don't understand something. This shows genuine interest, not rudeness. Also, be patient with language differences if English is not the other person's first language. Speak clearly and slowly if needed, and don't make anyone feel embarrassed about mistakes. Kindness and patience are universal, no matter where you're from. A first date can be a wonderful chance to learn about a different culture and way of life.
Very well said, Julia. Kindness truly is universal. I think it's also good to remember that first impressions can change over time. Sometimes people are nervous on a first date, and they don't show their true personality right away. So try not to judge too quickly. Give people a fair chance and be patient too. Of course, if something feels wrong or unsafe, always trust your instincts and prioritize your safety. But for normal nervousness, try to be understanding. Everyone wants to be seen in their best light, and a little patience can help both people feel more comfortable together.
That's a really important point, John, especially about safety. Speaking of safety, let's give a quick tip about that too. When meeting someone for the first time, especially from a dating app, always choose a public place. Tell a friend or family member where you're going and who you're meeting. You can even share your location with them. This is smart and responsible, not something to feel embarrassed about. Trust your feelings, and if something feels wrong, it's okay to leave. Your safety and comfort always come first, before politeness or worrying about what the other person might think.
Great point, Julia. Safety should always come first. I think we've covered so many useful tips today. Let's do a quick review together. First, be on time and dress neatly. Second, use good body language like smiling and eye contact. Third, choose light and positive conversation topics. Fourth, listen carefully and ask good questions. Fifth, be honest about your feelings and respect the other person's boundaries. And finally, relax, be yourself, and remember that it's okay if things don't work out. These tips are simple, but they can truly make a big difference in how a first date goes for everyone involved.
Thank you, John, for that wonderful review. I think this has been such a helpful conversation for our listeners today. Dating can feel scary sometimes, especially in a new language or a new culture. But with these simple tips, it can also be fun and exciting. Remember, everyone feels a little nervous, even people who look very confident. The most important thing is being kind, honest, and respectful. A great first impression doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be genuine. We hope these tips help you feel more confident before your next first date. John, do you have any final words?
Yes, Julia. I just want to say, don't be too hard on yourself. Dating is a learning process for everyone, no matter their age or experience. Every date, good or bad, teaches you something new about yourself and about people. So relax, smile, and enjoy the experience. Thank you to everyone listening today. We hope you learned some useful English words and some useful dating tips too. If you enjoyed this podcast, please share it with your friends. And remember, the most important date you'll ever have is being comfortable with yourself first. Julia, thank you for this wonderful conversation today.
Thank you, John, and thank you to all our listeners. We hope you enjoyed today's episode about first dates and first impressions. Remember our simple tips. Be on time, be kind, listen well, and most importantly, be yourself. We truly believe that everyone deserves a genuine connection, and it often starts with a great first date. Please join us next time for another fun and easy English podcast episode. Until then, take care of yourselves and good luck on your next date. Goodbye, everyone, and see you soon.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to our podcast today. We really enjoyed sharing these first date tips with you. Remember, practice makes progress, both in English and in dating. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, because that's how we all learn and grow. We hope you feel more confident and prepared now. Take these simple tips, be genuine, and most importantly, have fun. Thank you again for joining Julia and me today. See you in our next episode. Take care, stay positive, and goodbye for now.